What if the person sitting next to you right now is manipulating you? Not a stranger, not an enemy, someone you trust, someone you love, someone you call a friend. Most people think manipulation looks like an obvious lie, a clear betrayal, a visible threat. But the most dangerous manipulation is invisible. It doesn't shout, it whispers, it doesn't push you, it slowly pulls you. And by the time you realize what's happening, you've already lost a piece of yourself. Friedrich Nietzsche saw this clearly more than a century ago. He understood that the greatest danger to a person's power doesn't come from enemies. It comes from those who smile while they drain you. In this video, you will discover 8 signs that someone is secretly manipulating you right now. Sign number 6 is the one most people completely miss, and it's the most destructive one. Stay until the end. Because the final truth Nietzsche left us might be the most important thing you hear today. 1. They make you feel guilty for having boundaries. You say no, and suddenly the atmosphere changes. They don't argue, they don't shout, they go quiet, they sigh, they look wounded, and within minutes, you find yourself apologizing for protecting yourself. This is not coincidence. This is design. Nietzsche warned us that weak individuals don't attack with strength. They attack with suffering. They weaponize their pain to control your behavior. When saying no makes you feel like a criminal, that is manipulation in its purest form. A person who truly respects you will never punish you for having limits. 2. They rewrite history. You remember the conversation clearly, but they look at you and say, "That's not what happened. You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. I never said that." This technique has a name, gaslighting, and Nietzsche understood its core. Those who cannot win with truth will attack your perception of reality, because if they can make you doubt your memory, they can make you doubt yourself entirely. And a person who doubts themselves is easy to control. If someone constantly rewrites the past to protect themselves, trust what you remember, not what they insist. 3. They use your deepest fears against you. At some point, you trusted them. You opened up. You shared your insecurities, your fears, your wounds, and they listened. They seemed to care. But now, those same wounds are being used as weapons. They know you fear abandonment, so they threaten to leave. They know you fear failure, so they plant seeds of doubt before every decision you make. They know you need approval, so they withhold it until you comply. Nietzsche called this the exploitation of vulnerability. True strength never feeds on another person's weakness. If someone uses what you shared in trust to control what you do in the present, that is not love. That is a cage. 4. Isolate you slowly. It doesn't happen overnight. First, they have a problem with one friend, then another. Then your family starts to seem toxic according to them. Then the only person left who truly understands is them. This is not protection. This is architecture. Nietzsche wrote that the will to power, when corrupted, seeks to become the only sun in someone else's sky. A manipulator doesn't cage you with chains. They remove every other source of light until you can't imagine existing without them. If someone in your life consistently pulls you away from others, pay attention. Isolation is always the first step toward total control. 5. They exhaust you with constant chaos. Every week there is a crisis. Every conversation ends in confusion. Every moment of peace is interrupted by a new problem, a new accusation, a new emotional emergency, and you are always the one left trying to fix it. This is not bad luck. This is strategy. When you are constantly exhausted, constantly managing someone else's chaos, you have no energy left to think clearly. You have no energy left to question. You have no energy left to leave. Nietzsche believed that mental clarity is the foundation of personal power, and a manipulator's greatest tool is your exhaustion. If your relationship feels like a war zone you never signed up for, understand that some people manufacture storms to keep you from ever finding solid ground. 6. They make you feel crazy for trusting your own instincts. This is the sign most people miss, and it is the most dangerous. You feel something is wrong. You can't explain it. You have no proof. But something inside you whispers, "This isn't right." And then they say, "You're paranoid. You always overthink everything. Why can't you just trust me?" And slowly, you stop listening to yourself. Nietzsche wrote that the greatest act of power is to silence another person's inner voice, because once you stop trusting yourself, you will start trusting them instead. Your instincts are not your enemy. They are the most ancient protection system you have. If someone constantly tells you that your gut feeling is wrong, it is probably because your gut feeling is right. 7. They give just enough to keep you hooked. One day they are cold, distant, critical. The next day they are warm, loving, generous, and you find yourself working harder and harder to bring back the good version of them. This inconsistency is not a personality flaw. It is a mechanism. Psychologists call it intermittent reinforcement. Nietzsche saw it as the manipulation of hope, because hope is the most powerful chain of all. When kindness is unpredictable, you become addicted to earning it. You stop asking whether they are good for you. You only ask, what can I do to make them stay this way? That question is the trap. A person who genuinely cares for you does not make love feel like a reward you have to constantly re-earn. 8. They never take responsibility. Ever something goes wrong, and somehow it is always your fault. You are too sensitive. You provoked them. You misunderstood. They never apologize without conditions. They never admit a mistake without attaching a but. Nietzsche was deeply critical of those who refused to take ownership of their actions. He believed that self-accountability is one of the highest forms of human strength. A person who can never be wrong is a person who will never allow you to be right. And in a relationship where you are always the problem, you will slowly begin to believe that you are. Now, what do you do with all of this? Nietzsche did not believe in victimhood. He believed in transformation. Recognizing manipulation is not about becoming paranoid. It is not about seeing enemies everywhere. It is about reclaiming your perception, your instincts, your power. Here are 5 principles to protect yourself. 1. Trust your body. Anxiety, tension, and exhaustion around a specific person are not weakness. They are data. 2. Document reality. Write things down. Manipulators thrive in the fog of your memory. 3. Rebuild your outside connections. Isolation feeds control. Reconnect with people who knew you before. 4. Stop explaining yourself. You do not owe a manipulator a justification for your boundaries. 5. Value the cost of staying. Every day you remain in a manipulative dynamic is a day you spend your most finite resource, your time, your energy, yourself. Nietzsche said, the secret for harvesting from existence the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment is to live dangerously. And sometimes, the most dangerous thing you can do is finally trust yourself. If this video resonated with you, it is probably because somewhere, in some relationship, you recognize something. Don't ignore that recognition. The people who truly deserve your trust will never make you question your own mind. They will never make you feel small for having boundaries. They will never drain you into silence. And if someone in your life does all of these things, Nietzsche's answer is simple. Your freedom begins the moment you decide your peace is non-negotiable. If you want more videos on human psychology, the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, personal power, and invisible power dynamics, subscribe now, because understanding the human mind means taking back control of your life.